Hello and welcome to Comfy Cozy Up. So yeah, it's a new year and I'm excited about 2019. So we'll see what's in store for me. Yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys had a great holiday. So now that we are at the end, I find that this is the perfect time to start the year by talking about what my favorite books were of 2018. So to select the 10, it was hard for me because I had to basically go through all the 77 books that I've read and decide what's the 10 memorable ones that inspired me, ones that made me laugh, ones that were very entertaining, one that, you know, I still think about, you know, after reading for so long ago. And these are 10 that I thought were the best of the 77 that I read. So I'm going to start off with number 10, which was my favorite romance, and that was Broken Clocks by Danielle Allen. And I did a full video of my top 5 romance novel from 2018, so I'm not going to talk much about this, but I'm going to put the link in this description where you can go check out my top 5 romance and you will see why this was my favorite. Number 9 on my list is the Morgan Dane series. And I talked about this series in a video for one of the Vlogmas, and I'm telling you, when I initially read the first series in the first book of the series in 2017, I loved it, but it was just like, I wasn't as blown away. So in 2018, I decided to read the second, third, and the fourth. There's 6 complete books in the series, but 2 will be released in this year, 2019. So when I got to the third book, which was Bones Don't Lie, was at that moment I realized, oh, this was a damn good series. And then when I got to the fourth one, What Have I Done? I'm thinking, why have no one been talking about this series? Because I love it. It's a really good crime thriller. It has all the suspense you need, the mystery. The characters are very likable, very much. They have the personality of, you know, the girl next door, the nice guy, you know, the family struggles that they have in this series, and I absolutely love it. And I do say you need to read the first, and because you feel different if you read the first than to just skip the first 2 series just to get to the third. I think you need to get on a journey with the series so you can see how the characters develop and how the author really improved on the stories. So number 8 on my list is If Beale Street Could Talk by James Baldwin. Now, I did a review of this as well, and I went to see the movie and I did a review of the movie as well. This is amazing. This was beautiful. It was romantic. It was heartbroken at some points. It had that family dynamic that was strong, supportive, and there was so much passion in this story of these characters and what they had to endure and how life is unfair and how relevant the story is even to this day. I was like, yeah, and his writing style, oh yes, James Baldwin, he got me this year real good. And if you haven't seen the movie, I suggest you read the book first, then go see the movie. The next on my list is my favorite memoir, and I read 2 memoirs this year, and this one is my favorite, Jennifer Lewis, Mother of Black Hollywood. And this was a memoir that I thought was a 5-star. It was entertaining. It was inspirational. She really put herself out there and talk about so much things that I was unaware of. You know, I always looked at her as a great actress and how funny she was, but not knowing that, you know, she had all these things that she was struggling with and still made it in Hollywood despite all of those things that she was dealing with. She also commented on this recently, like maybe 2 or 3 days ago, which just made my day. And you know, go look at the review and read her comment that she made, and it really does say exactly how I felt when she did this. This is her. and she shared it and she poured out there, and it really is one of those memoirs that you would not be bored. You would definitely get entertained, but you also get that inspiration that, you know, you can absorb thinking about. You can think of a person that have it all but not really, and still survived and got through Hollywood and not be completely destroyed, because Hollywood is a tough field to be in, and she did it. The next one, of course, is another James Baldwin, and you know, The Fire Next Time. I think it's one of those books that needs to be read in school. Like, everyone needs to read this. You know, it's nonfiction, but it also has so much relevance then to now. And he wrote something that I feel like, it's like you need to just experience it. You need to read it. You need to soak it in. It's very short. It's only 106 pages. And you will, yeah, it's read it. That's all I'm going to say. Read it. The next one on my list is another author that she's just legend. Like, can't get no better. And that is Octavia Butler, Parable of the Talents. And this is part 2 to the series. And the first series is Parable of the Sower. And then I think of, you need to read both. This one was deep. It dealt with religion and how every society from, you know, centuries you could think of is centered around religion, spiritual belief, you know, and how it shapes us. And sometimes there's a good and there's a bad, and there's a level of understanding that get conflicted with our spiritual side. And she did this fiction in a way where you can't help to connect it to our reality. And I absolutely thought this was great. I absolutely can, you know, I read it not too long ago in October, and I can still remember it well, how it affected me and how I thought about it. I mean, the writing is great. How she transitioned the character is great. You will definitely read this book and thinking how much she was way ahead of her time. Way ahead of her time with this one. So yeah, pick this one up. The next one is my favorite short story. I've read 3 short story collection this year, and my favorite one is What It Means When a Man Falls from the Sky. And this is one of those short stories where every story was good. It was like, I read this one, oh, I like this one more. No, I like this one a little bit more. Oh no, this one is, you know, that's how I felt reading this. And I love that she can create a collection of short stories that had, you know, love and family and values and wants, and how she created these different stories that are some more realistic, some had metaphors that you had to, you know, really think about and really get through and realize, oh, that was really deep. Love this. If you're looking for a short story collection, pick this one up. My next book, many looked at as simply as a romance novel. Not for me. I'm a romance novel girl. And this was more than just a romance novel to me. This is why I didn't put it in my top 5 romance novel. And that is The Husband of Evelyn. So this to me was more of a memoir feel, because that's how the story is written. This is a woman who has lived her life in Hollywood and done so many things that are questionable, that's wrong, that's good, and she's now telling her story, and she's revealing her one love, the love that she wasn't able to express to the world because of the time period she was in. And because of that, people would tend to think of this strictly as like a romance novel, but it's not. To me, it was just more of an inspirational story of a woman who is owning all the things that she's been through, who is owning the good and the bad, and you can't go wrong with that. You know, you want that kind of story that you can really look at and said, hell yeah, you did it, you survived, and now you're ready to go. Nothing wrong with that. So I read this story thinking how, like, the character, how I really liked the character. Like, she was that character that was really, that had me like rooting for her, even when she wasn't, there was some questionable things, and I'm still rooting for her. I'm still rooting for her. I like this character a lot, and I love the memoir feel of this book and how it's written. It was really good, and I don't think anybody so far that I have encountered that read this that didn't love it. That's so definitely, you know, pick it up. Now the next book, I think I jumped, scream, hop, skip, all that when I talked about this book, and I loved it, and this is Augustine. Now this is one of those books that the last couple of maybe a page, couple of pages, chapter, I had to reread, because that's how much this book was like, what the hell did I just read? Like, what the hell just happened? That was my reaction when I got to the end of this book. Loved it. It is a town in Jamaica called Augustine. It is a people who are going through it, and things just went crazy in one day. And you're reading all these things that's happening, and you're wondering how is this related to that one day. And then when you find out, you're just like, what? So I love it, but most of all, the writing style in this book is my kind of writing style. I love this kind of writing style. It was very poetic. It's just, I just love it. I just love how he wrote this book. I'm here for it, and I would love to read more of his work if he does. I'm not sure. I need to look and see if he has other books out, but I know he's a poet, but I'm not sure if this is his only novel. But I definitely want to read more of his books if he has any. And of course, my favorite book, which I read in the beginning of the year, which hands down, if I had to put my top 10 books of all time, I'm pretty sure this will get on the list, and that is The Book of Night Women. And Marlon James is right now one of my favorite authors. I read all his books. I read his first ever book this year, which was Drunkards Devil. And I remember screaming, thinking, this man has lost his damn mind. But then I'm thinking, oh yeah, sprinkle that Jamaican heritage up in that book. You know, the church drama in that book. And then when I read this, I'm thinking, yeah, the Nanny the Maroon. That's what I kept thinking when I thought about the main character of this book. And I just love the main character. I love how the innocence she had, and not knowing that she had this gift and this kind of power about her. And it had to do some really raw and gritty things, and things that were, you know, survival and a must and had to be done. But she still had a heart, a soul that was still good. And in even the midst of her not sure or not realizing what impact she had on others, she still held on to a piece of her that was good. And that's the part of the story that really was like, oh yes, you know, being somewhat of a warrior and still being strong and still loving in a way where, you know, it's complicated but it's still a beautiful thing. Oh, this character. There's so much things in this book that is so historically done, where I can sit back and like, oh yeah, that was from that revolution, or that was from that incident. But how he did it and made it in a fictional way is what really grabbed me. I was rooting for this character. Like, I really was rooting for her every step of the way. There was other characters that I had a love-hate relationship with. There's, you know, this particular woman in this book where I remember just thinking, I like her, but damn, I don't like her. You know, that kind of feel. I'm here for it. Marlon James cannot do no wrong at this point. Books I've read from him, all of them I've loved. All of them I've enjoyed. Not sure what the new one's gonna be about, but I will be reading it because anything that he writes, I'm gonna read. That's how I feel about it. Pick up on Marlon James. And guys, that is it. I am pretty much got through this video. Feel like I'm getting sick, but at the same time, I'm like, yeah, let me just finish this and tell you guys what I loved about the books I read last year. So what was your favorite book of 2018? Let me know, because I always like to read the favorites, put it on my TBR, and you know, maybe get to it. What was that book that you can't stop thinking about, that was like really like hit you good? Let me know. I would love to check it out. And that's it, guys. I am going to take me some cough drops, something, and call it a day. Anyway, thanks for watching and have a good day.